Hi, I'm Dakota. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. This is my second YouTube video. My first video was just my introduction, in which I got 8 views, and I was pretty excited about that. I think I got 1 like. I was really excited because I didn't tell anybody I was doing this, and I didn't post it on Facebook or my Instagram or anything. I don't know why I didn't. I guess because it was, I don't know why. I don't know. I think I just want to get built. I want to see where I go. I want to see where this goes. And then maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe it's vanity. I don't know. Anyway, I'm here now, and that's all that matters. Maybe perhaps through, if you'll like and share, maybe word will get out, and we'll see what happens with it. So yeah, if you watch the intro, it'll tell you a little bit about what I want to do here with my channel, and that's funny with my channel with the videos. So I want to cover all things, witchy, all things, anything and everything, topics. I want to talk about things that have experiences that I've had, maybe aha moments that have happened. I want to hear about yours, the experiences and the aha moments. Things like that. I love all the creative videos that are out there. I am not much of a arts and crafter person. I might share a few things with you that I do, but I'm here to tell you they're not fantastic. I'm not artsy and crafty. But I do love watching all those videos. I get all kinds of ideas, and that's what I need to help inspire me to just do little things that I do. Gosh. So today what I had planned was talking a little bit about some experiences that I've had lately with the elements. I work a lot with fire, and I mostly work with fire, and I am an air sign. I am a Gemini. I hardly ever work with air, other than if I burn something or I use my incense for something, and that smoke, I guess we would consider that air. But actually calling in air to work with, I mean, that's probably my least element that I work with independently. I don't work with water very much either. It's just not something that really resonates with me. I work more with earth than water or air, but again, fire is my main element. Now, I'm adept to know that you have to be balanced. Everything needs to be balanced. And I know that over the past couple of years, the elements have not been exactly balanced for me. I've studied the elements, I've read about them, I've introduced myself in ritual to them. I do call on them during ritual. We call on them when we have ritual in our circle, and I have worked with them, one-on-one, but not like I do with fire. So over this past year, I have felt some imbalances with that. And so over this last year, I decided that I was going to force myself. I have a few friends, probably a handful, that are water witches. They love the ocean. They go probably every day, every other day. And I thought, well, then I'm going to dedicate and start working with water. So I started doing that over the last year. And although I had some very interesting experiences with water, it still was not, like, I'm not drawn to that element in that respect, as far as feeling the power of it, or feeling, the energy of it. And I compare it with a conversation that came up in a class in July that someone taught about the energies between the East Coast Ocean, and the Atlantic, and the Pacific Ocean. So I am from the West Coast, and and the energies of the oceans, how different they are. And so I compare how I feel about water with those energies. The East Coast, for me, the energy of the ocean is more gentle. It is more soothing. The Atlantic Ocean, at least here, and especially in the summer, perhaps not in the winter, but especially in the summer, the water is so warm, it's not even refreshing to go into for me. And they're small waves. So it's this, I don't know, this gentle roll of waves that is warm and calming and relaxing. And the West Coast, those waves are larger. When they hit the sand, they hit the sand. There is a lot of force, I feel like, behind those waves on the West Coast. And the water is a lot colder there. It's a lot colder in Southern California, where I'm from, than here on the East Coast. So in comparing what I get, I looked at the West Coast and the East Coast, and I went, the energy that I feel from water, working with water this past year, is East Coast waves, where the energy is there. Don't get me wrong, the energy is there. And look, we just had Hurricane Florence last September. It was brutal. We were in the eye of the storm. A lot of damage. We were so blessed and so grateful. Minimal damage, and I am grateful. I know how fierce the ocean got. So don't get me wrong, that is not what I'm saying. On a normal day, the energy I got and the energy I feel from working with water is that same energy that I feel when I go to the beach here at the East Coast. It's more gentle, it's more soothing, it's almost more feminine. A feminine type of nurturing energy, where the West Coast is more, it's just a more masculine, dominant kind of energy coming in. So maybe it's because I'm East Coast bound that I'm not getting the energy I need from water, because I'm right here on the East Coast, as a crow flies, maybe a half an hour from the water, whereas the West Coast, I was 2 miles from the beach at the most. But that doesn't make sense either, because I didn't work with water then either. But that's how I can compare what I feel working with water, as far as the energies go, and how I feel about the energies of water. So West Coast is more strong and powerful and full of energy and full of this, where the Atlantic, at least here, is more gentle and more calm, which is a good thing if that's the energy you need for your magic. So that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But that was the energy that I was feeling. So I worked with that for like this last year. Really focused on trying to work with water more in my magic, so that I could get more balance, because I'm not a fire sign, but I am extremely fiery. I'm very passionate. I'm very driven. I'm motivated. I'm sporadic, I'm spontaneous. I'm a Gemini, but I don't have typically, I'm sure that I do at some point. I don't have those high and low tides of emotion, you know, that Geminis have. Like 1 minute you're this and the next minute you're wow, you know. I really don't. I might be cheerful, and then go, oh, that guy, but it's not. It's an expression. It's more of an expression and not an emotion that I'm actually feeling. So yeah, so I'm just like not watery at all. I'm more fire, and I can get really. I'm so whoosh. My brain is all over the map. That would be air. But each thing that I'm doing, each thing that I attempt to do, my magical practice, even work, even home projects that I'm doing, whatever, like I'm looking in my magic room right now. I probably have 10 things I'm working on. I'm a multitasker, you know, I'm a multitasker. But each thing that I do, when I'm working on that, I'm 110 in. I mean, I am. I'm 110 in. I don't just go over here and dabble a bit and go over here and dabble a bit. So each of those things that are going on, they're not all magical, by the way. If I'm doing spell work, I'm doing spell work. I'm in it. And I'm doing it to its completion. So that's not what I'm talking about. But I mean, I just have, like, you know, I've got some deck of cards over there, like 3 decks I'm looking at right now that I'm examining. I'm going through introductions, all of that. I have my journal right here on this table. I was doing a Reiki distant healing for someone. I've got that set up right here. This is my devotional altar right here. It is a mess. It's a mess. I have a chair over there. That's my reading chair. 5 books, at least, that I can see over there. Ooh, my craft room is over there. It's in a closet. I turned a closet into, I wasn't using it for anything. So I put a table in there with some shelves on the wall and some lighting and everything. And that's my craft area for, like, if I do some beadwork and, you know, little crafty things that I'm not super good at. But anyway, it's in that closet, and that way it's messy. I can close the door and not have to look at it. So, back to the elements. Okay, so I went skydiving. I experienced air and water coming together. I experienced air, not just like feeling air on my face, but I was part of air. I was air. And the atmosphere, I was soaking wet. It made my clothes wet, and that was air and water meeting, coming together and meeting in the same place. And that was an aha moment for me. The whole skydiving thing, I can talk about that another day. If you want, you can leave a comment, and sure, I'll talk about it. It was fun. It was my first time I ever did it. It was great. But that was that event, that skydiving event, was a spiritual, life-changing, how I perceive things, and it was a clearing. Things are spiritual things. Just woo! It's been phenomenal. It's been really, really great, really awesome. So that's what I'm doing right now, is working on right now, I'm still trying to contemplate the air and water coming together and experiencing that. Like, I was boiling some water the other night for dinner, and I'm just sitting there waiting, and I'm looking. I have an electric stove, but you know, the coils were red, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, well, it's not fire, but it's still fire. I mean, it's still hot, it's red, it's glowing like fire. And then I'm looking at the water inside the pan, and I'm thinking, oh, that's funny. There's fire and water working together. And then the water started to boil, and I went, that's inside the bubbles. Like, is there air in those bubbles? Is that what's caught? I mean, there's air, because you can see the little bubbles before it started to really boil. I could see the little bubbles on the bottom of the pan starting to develop. There's air meets water meets fire meets earth because of the pot it was in. And so those things are coming to my head right now, and I'm really, really excited about, diving deeper into that. And I mean, I'm looking at everything. I'm just like looking at everything, incense burning, and I'm going, let me see. Oh, okay, I'm burning a stick incense, so it has a little wood stick, and then I'm looking at the resin and the smoke and the fire, and I'm thinking, okay, so I see air, fire, and earth, but what about the water? Well, then I think, well, maybe it must be the resin, because they had, I don't know, even if it was just the sticky resin, sticky would that be water? I don't know. So I'm going to look into that. I'm going to investigate that. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, and that's like where my head is, and so that's what I wanted to talk about. And that's the kind of thing that I want to get into, like discussions about, not just this is air, fire, all of that, but what is it, and how do they come together, and what are you seeing? What are you, start to look around and really observe and see how things come together. And well, it's been really interesting for me. And like I said, I mean, I have a lot of, I probably have 30 years of witching under my belt. Not by any shadow of a doubt am I an expert in any field whatsoever. I am not. But I'm just saying, 30 years, 25 plus years, it's a lot of experience, and I feel, just when you think you've got something figured out, you don't. or there's more to it than that, and I dig it. I love it. I do. I love it. So I would love to hear anything that you have to say about that, and if you would, maybe you'll share my content if you liked it, or maybe you'll hit like, don't just view, hit the like button, and I'd really like to see this work. If it works, that would be fantastic, and life is still fantastic even if it doesn't work. I just appreciate the opportunity to be able to do this, okay? So I still don't have anything cute to say at the end, like, love and light or whatever some people say. I truly don't. So I'm just going to say until next week. Don't forget, Monday or Tuesday is when I post my videos. Mondays or Tuesdays is when I post the videos. So I really look forward to meeting some people. It would be great to meet some people and to network. And I would be happy to answer questions that I can on here for you as well. So have a great week, and I will see you all next week. Bye.